What's up everybody, it's Cosmo the Coder here and welcome to another of my Humble Bundle reviews. Now, last week we had a bit of a break from Humble Bundles, as there wasn't one. So we have a brand new Humble Bundle this week. This week we have the Humble Jumbo Bundle, number 7. Now I always like Humble Jumbo bundles, oh dear, because they always contain some pretty good games, but they're also quite some diverse games too. So, without further ado, let's go and have a little look at what we've got this week, shall we? This actually goes away. There we go. So, first up we have... where are we? There we are. Good start. Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, the Triple Thrill Pack. Now, this is basically the original sort of Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 game back from 2002, so it's a good fair few years old. There isn't any compatibility issues that I can immediately detect based on what reading on Steam, but overall, generally speaking, you're okay. That's actually, I just noticed that text is extremely small. Why is it making that small? Let's make that a bit bigger. There we go. So I was in a rush to try and get everything all sorted, and I still am in a bit of a rush. So back to it. So it's $6.99 currently on Steam, or about $10 for our US friends. Generally speaking, it's exceptionally well received. Even now, 14 years on, it's still extremely well received. It's got 83% recently, 87% overall on Steam, and 74% on Metacritic. It's worth mentioning that you get Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 and the expansion pack as well in this sort of package. So it's a pretty good deal considering. Daggers is a more recent game, shall we say, that's came out. It came out sort of beginning of the year. It's currently about £3.99 on Steam, or about $5. It's essentially, and I'll actually play the video this time around. It's essentially a sort of first-person shooter, horror survival sort of game where you basically put in a small arena, and you're basically using what limited sort of things you have. Basically, you've got magic daggers and sort of spells and things. You can literally just attack the various monsters and creatures that are coming up and survive as long as you possibly can. You basically score points for the longer you survive, and you go on a sort of a leaderboard system. So it literally is sort of a fast-paced action shooter that has no real sort of plot line or development system beyond you must live for as long as you can. Good reviews on Steam, 95 recently, 96 overall, and 83% on Metacritic. So if you are into that kind of fast-paced first-person shooter kind of game, then definitely worthwhile looking at. I don't know what's wrong with me this evening. I'm not talking absolute nonsense. RuneScape Keeper is up next. If I can get the thing to work. It's kind of an odd one, RuneScape Keeper. It's $6.99 on Steam, or about $10. It's basically a roguelike sort of dungeon crawler that sort of blends elements of RPG and sort of turn-based strategy games, and sort of puts it all together in a general sort of I don't know how you sort of kind of put it. It's one of those sort of things where you, as you can see from sort of the video, it's kind of you're there, but you're sort of seeing the dungeon from a different viewpoint. It kind of gets a bit lost in translation. It looks exceptionally good, to be honest with you. Review-wise, it's 91% on overall on Steam. Definitely one if you're interested in dungeon crawlers or sort of RPG sort of games. Not a bad little game, I think. Now that's my wife probably telling me she's ready for bed. Beat the average. At the moment it stands at $4.71. Stronghold Crusader 2. Now, this is actually the most expensive game in the bundle at the moment. It's $29.99 on Steam, or about $50 for you guys in the US. It's basically a real-time strategy castle city builder game. And you basically build up your sort of castle and your sort of little, I suppose, an empire, if you will. using the resources around and defend it from your enemies. It literally is quite as straightforward as that. It's not got fantastic reviews. It's 66% recently, 59% overall, and about 65% on Metacritic. Fans, well, the general sort of reviews are that fans don't like this compared to the original Stronghold game. There's no overall sort of reason other than maybe a few bugs here and there, which you would expect in most games, but generally speaking, people just don't find it as fun as the original games. Which is fair enough for them, but for us it's a bit difficult if you haven't actually played the original games. Right, Prison Architect. Now, I could talk a lot about Prison Architect quite easily. Prison Architect is by the people who have brought you games like Uplink, Darwinia, Defcon, nearly forgot its name. It's a game by the guys, people from Introvision, a nice UK-based game company that have done quite well actually with this, and basically developed this from a slight sort of Kickstarter campaign. It's been in development for quite a few years now, and it's finally reached its sort of maximum version. I think it's version 2.0. So the actual development on the game has actually ceased. Now it's actually available on PC and complete on PC, and basically it's now on console. It's $19.99 on Steam, $29.99 for dollars. Review-wise, it's exceptionally well received. 89% recently, 94 overall, 83% on Metacritic. It literally is what it sounds like. You basically build a prison and have to try and manage it and maintain it through prison riots, prison escapes, you name it. It's that kind of game. Definitely one of those games. It's a definitely good throwback to sort of the Bullfrog management games if you're into those kind of games. Last up in the green tier, we have Punch Club. Now, Punch Club, you may or may not know, became sort of famous because it was sort of one of those games that was used in Twitch plays, where basically the audience watching it on stream were able to control elements of the game. And it was actually released early because people were actually able to complete it on Twitch. It's generally a sort of what's the right sort of word? It's sort of a tycoon management game where you basically build up your fighter, trying to take part in various tournaments and train him to become the ultimate fighter. It's generally a quite well received game, and I actually played it when it came out. Review wise, it's 75% recent, 79% overall, 73% on Metacritic. The only thing I will sort of say about this game, because I did play it, is that it's quite easy to get backed into a corner if you don't listen to what the game's telling you. I kind of tried to do what the game told me and misunderstood what I was supposed to do, and then ended up sort of backing myself into a corner. And it's quite annoying when that happens, because you invest all this time into the game and end up sort of, I don't know, you end up sort of lost and stuck, and the only way to dig yourself out is sometimes to just start the game all over again, which I wasn't really willing to do. But it's still a good game nonetheless. Now, more games are coming soon, so I will not give a review score at the end of this video. I'll actually give it next week. But I will take a quick look at the blue tier, which is a game from early access on Steam called Miscreated, which is another sort of survival, online horror survival game where you basically take part in the world after an apocalypse. The events of which are still you sort of find out as you play the game. It's $14.99 on Steam, or $20 for you guys in the US. Review-wise, it's 72% recent and 68% overall. But bear in mind, this is early access, so there's still a lot to come. According to this, it's still an alpha release, so expect a lot of changes over the next few months to years. Not really my kind of cup of tea, but I don't know about you guys. Now, generally speaking, what I will say at the moment is that this bundle, I like the look of the bundle. I'm not really interested in Miscreated, and I do own Punch Club and Prison Architect already, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait and see what the more games are. It's difficult to tell what they're going to be, because obviously this is a sort of a jumble of different games, but overall it looks like a fairly interesting kind of bundle, and I'm definitely going to keep an eye on it and see what comes out next week. And that, ladies and gents, is pretty much it. So as always, like and subscribe for more videos like this. A few notes I shall say is that, as you may or may not notice, there have been a few changes over the last few months, or so the last few weeks, or last few review videos of different things happening. More changes are coming, so keep an eye out for those. Let me know what you think of those changes, or anything you think I should add to this video. And as always, I will always listen. Thanks for watching, guys, and as always, I hope you have... Sorry, I just realised I was looking at the wrong thing. As always, guys, thanks for watching.